Hello, my beauties. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not sure why it looks like the screen could be bigger and it's not. No, I think that's it. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to pull up YouTube for 1 second while I wait for YouTube to let folks know that this live is happening. And I may have to, then I'm going to have to mute. So you guys, if you want to, if you're watching from the future, you may want to go ahead and, hold on, you may want to go ahead and, let me see, pull up view my channel and skip ahead like 2 minutes. Okay, now we're gonna get feedback because, there we go. Yeah, StreamYard is showing with like a wide border than usual. I'm not sure why that's happening. Interessante. Not sure. Anyway, who is here today? Say hi as you come in, as you join. It's Viv here. I am a meditation teacher, an artist, like in my life. I'm a creative and teach meditation and a holistic stress coach. And actually, I just finished leading class 6 of soulful mindfulness, and it was really nice. I think I had about maybe 6 ladies came today, and it's my 8-week program. I extended the name Soulful Mindfulness and Healing Touch, and so we incorporate multiple things into it. But yeah, I just wanted to go live, and I hope I am live. Looks like I am here. It is definitely a little bit late. I wanted to talk about fear, so that's what I'm going to talk about. And talk about also some of the, hold on, some of the crazy stuff that is happening. Hey, if you're just joining, say hi if you are here live. I wanted to share with the community just my thoughts about dealing with fear and all the general anxiety and uncertainty that's going on right now. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Okay. I'm actually feeling really good. Hey, Cara. Yes, I am actually. Yeah, I want to share on that. So my title is not like my final title, but I wrote "Why Bother Being Afraid? It's a Distraction." I want to talk about distraction and then about facing our fears. Okay. So please stick around. Please, if you have questions, like I said, I just finished teaching for like an hour and 15 minutes, like 75 minutes. So I'm probably not going to stay super long today. Hey, welcome. I see the numbers going up. I just recently was dealing with a lot of fear. A lot of fear. I did not script this out. I tried to make some quick notes because I'm coming right from the class. But fear was just about kicking my butt. So I'm going to tell you about it. A little story time. Get some water, get some tea, get some wine, get some rum, whatever you may need. I don't know. Whatever you need, get some of it. You guys. So I am indeed. I want to show you my empty shelves. So I am packing up. Those of you who follow me regularly know that I want to be an expat, an immigrant, emigrate. I don't know. Again, this is public, so, I temper some of what I say. But yeah, let me say hi if you're just joining. I want to talk about fear, so I'm going to use my story as an example. So, with everything that's going on right now, I needed to buy an airline ticket. For a variety of reasons, I had not bought the airline ticket earlier, even though, and you guys, the guys follow me, I teach wellness and woo-woo, right? I do not lie to you. I could even go find the card, but I'm not going to do it now. In one of the decks that I use for readings for clients or myself, and I think it's the fairy deck. There's a card. It shows a woman. She's a fairy though. She's got little wings, and she's looking over her shoulder, And the card is called Walk Away. And it says, when you leave behind this toxic situation, you'll be amazed at the positive results. I kept getting that card like 3 times every week for like 3 or 4 weeks. The same card, and it would be the central card in the reading. That's also important. So over and over, walk away, and she's looking behind her, and I'm like, oh my God, what do you know? So anyway, so just hold that in mind. So spirit, I really believe spirit is always speaking to us. You don't have to, pull cards. Every culture believes this. Every pre-modern culture, pre-Western culture sort of believes this. Early Western culture believed this, whether it's the clouds, the wind direction, a sense of a direct connection with God, goddess, spirit, through animals. These are cultures around the world, okay? I'm not just talking about Western culture. There's always been a belief that spirit, the divine, communicates with us. Or some people say, oh, well, we just give it meaning. Whatever. Those people have never experienced where it's very, very, very clear. Like I said, the same card over and over and over. Walk away. And I'm like, I am walking away. Do you want me to walk away sooner? It started to feel like that. I'm trying to think of how to tell my story without giving too many details. Anyway, trying to walk away sooner, but feeling like that makes me too rushed, and then I'm sort of, you know, am I breaking a lease? How am I doing? Anyway, long story short, I spoke to my landlord, and he's like, "Oh, absolutely. Actually, it would help me if you left earlier." So here I am, you guys, stressing about, this is the logical mind, stressing about a message that I'm getting, very clear, move a little faster, do this faster. Talk to the landlord, a whole series of events. Any of you who know this poem that talks about that, raises in your favor, if you, because I sort of spoke it. He's like, I actually would love for you to leave earlier. Not throwing you out, but if you could leave earlier, it helps me with what I need to do with the house and everything. Anyway, buying a ticket is raising a lot of fear. If you're just joining, I'm just talking about overcoming your fears and giving an example of what happened with me. So as you guys know, literally I started to buy the ticket like the day the announcement was made that flights are going to be cut. Previous to that, though, I was already having difficulty, and it's because I had a credit. I'm just going to put this out there. Hope I'm not sued. It'd be funny to sue me. I would think it would be hilarious. But this is my personal experience with trip.com. Their customer service, the people are incredibly nice and warm, polite, and helpful. But their systems are crap. I don't think I would use them again. I literally had 8 to 10 separate chat conversations to get my credits from an airline ticket that I had to cancel previously when I was traveling previously. You guys, so I'm dealing with one airline, let's just call it Blake Airline. I don't, and then trip.com, and I need them to communicate, right? I've got one helping me and the other helping me, and one says do this, the other says no, we need that. This says they have that. They're like, no, we don't have it. What's this number? What number are you talking about? The number, the blah, blah, blah. Oh, we don't have it. I want to say 10 different times, hours of my life, right? Trying to deal with this, you guys. Give me a yes if this has ever happened to you. Like I said, I will not use trip.com again. I mean, this is how bad it was. I want to say the next day or 2 days later, the customer service guy remembered me. Like, do you know how many people they deal with? He goes, I remember you. I remember his problem. We couldn't get this to work. They kept changing what they wanted me to do. First, they're like, oh, no, do this, it'll work. Okay. Then they're like, no, you need to log into this website and it'll connect you to the airline. Like, it was a mess, you guys. And I'm also dealing with someone else who was starting to get very fearful. They're like, is this going to work? This isn't going to work, basically. They started to doubt me and the situation. And so this is the message I want to convey to you. Again, hey, know before you go. I'm talking about dealing with fear. This is really important, you guys. I started to get really fearful. I did, because on the one hand, this person who I have to communicate with, about traveling, they're like, this isn't going to happen. You're not going to be able to, it's just not going to happen. And I literally, this is very hard for me because, you know, I'm a talker and I'm also empathetic and I'm empathic. So this is part of my advice to you in dealing with your fear. I had to just I literally was like, I'm shutting it down. I explained to them, it's going to work out, just stay calm. This isn't just my problem with this ticket voucher. It then became flights are shutting down, right? So, and they hadn't heard about this. And they're like, what is happening? You know, WTF, what's going on? What, you know, and I had to just, I put on blinders and I was like, it's going to work out. I'm just going to stay calm. I'm going to keep trying to get my voucher because it's credits. It's money that I am owed that I paid. And they're giving me half of it back because I had to cancel the ticket. So, you guys, I just basically was like, you know what? This person is going into fear and I'm not going with them. I literally made a conscious decision. Fear and worry, remember this statement, worry about something is giving energy to what you don't want to happen. When you worry, and I mean like obsessively or not just like, okay, I'm worried, but when you give into it, you're giving power and energy to what you don't want to happen. That is not good. So, and this is very hard for me because as you know, it's still a mess right now. But I was like, nope, I'm going. It's going to work out. So stay focused on your intention. That's the second thing. So sort of isolate the fear, almost like contain it, almost like nuclear. Okay, I'm just coming up with these analogies. Let me know if you're following with me. When you're afraid, and I know maybe not you in the live, but many more will watch this on the replay. We all are dealing with fear. Do not try to tell me you're not fearful and anxious now, because if you are not, then something is really wrong, probably emotionally. Because if you are not sort of, even if you personally aren't, you have to be dealing with the fears of others, right? The anxiety of others. Again, especially around things like flights, what's happening in the country, uncertainty, whatever. So I just isolated the fear. I had to really talk myself down. I isolated the person who was fearful. I actually was like, okay, I've given you a full explanation. There's no more I can do. And I didn't engage in the fear with them. So whatever you're afraid of, don't engage in it and talk about it too much with the person who's in the same state. So say you're afraid of losing your job. Don't hyper focus on that with, a good friend and talk about it and talk about it. That's what I mean. Isolate the fear and like it's nuclear, contain it and set it aside and focus on your intention. And that's the hardest. People I've worked with, whether just talking with them or friends, that's very hard for most people to do. So what is your intention? What do you want to happen? And so I just focused on that. And don't you know, after literally 10 different customer service conversations, 10 over about 3 weeks, I pulled cards. I pulled the wish fulfillment card. Give me a yes if you do tarot. The wish fulfillment card in tarot shows a man and he's like this, his arms across, and it's the 10 of cups. I know I should know that. It's the 9 of cups. He's got cups behind him and he looks really smug, and it's called the wish fulfillment card. I got that card and I got another card in the same line that's like you get what you want. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. That day I got on the customer service again. They're like, give us 24 hours. They wouldn't get back to me. And I just stayed on. And this new kid, I think his name was Julio, I don't know, he solved the problem. It took about an hour. And I just was like, oh, this is, and I also sent positive energy. So again, when you're fearful, anybody who is going to help you, you need to literally send love to them, send positive energy to them. So rather than being like, oh God damn it, this is the eighth person who I've dealt with this. And I just was like, oh no, he's going to solve it. We're going to solve it. I was very kind to him. I was very in gratitude to him. And don't you know, it started to go wrong because he's like, this should work. Why isn't this working? Blah, blah, blah. And I kept the intention. This is going to work. He will solve this problem. This customer service problem will be solved today. And it was. Okay. So again, face what the fear is, Isolate it, don't ruminate on it, isolate it. But do know what it is. Don't talk about it too much. Don't obsess about it with others who are going to make you feel that you're right about it, because then you're really lowering your vibration into the fear. Do the best you can. My second, really third, is do the best you can to mitigate the fear. So the fear might be telling you there's something you need to pay attention to. Pay attention to it, mitigate it, do the best you can to avoid. So if this is about your car breaking down and you're terrified because you have to have this car to get to your job, you live outside of the city, you know you don't have enough money for the car's been acting up. Okay? Do the best you can to try to solve the problem of the car, right? So I'm not saying ignore the problem of the car, but get into action mode. That's the next thing, third/fourth step. Take action. It's really important because when you take action, you feel empowered with whatever the fear is. And you also are showing spirit, because I'm talking manifestation here. This is manifestation. This is kind of magic. You're showing spirit what you want. You may not be able to say the exact timing, right? It took 8 times for this to work out. So I wasn't able to like snap my fingers, but keep a steady intent. And the great analogy I've given to clients in the past is you need to know where you want to go. If I'm in New York and I want to drive out to Las Vegas, I know I have to like start to head out west, right? Because I know where my goal is. I know the end result I want. So it gives me at least a start. A lot of people won't even do that. I hear people say things like, well, I don't know. Who knows? You need a map, right? I want to go from New York. I'm going to go to Vegas from New York. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. You may need to detour. Give me a yes if you're following me on this. Okay. You may need to detour, meaning you may need to change your plan, but you still have an overall plan. This is how you manifest, especially if you're being challenged by fear. So, say it's time to start your trip and, there's like a weather challenge. Okay, so you may have to change the start date of the trip. You may have to detour to another town. Oh, there's a tornado warning. Okay, you have to adapt. So, again, have your end goal, have your intention, but be flexible. Be flexible. And that is very much also the divine feminine. It's not rigid. It has to be my way. You're sort of putting out the vision, you're putting out the dream, you're putting out the intention to spirit, to God, and then you listen. And that's again the feminine aspect. You listen and you take action as you're guided. Okay, there's things I'm not even sharing here, like something magical happened to even set up this whole process that I'm leaving out of the story just for privacy reasons. But I was prompted to contact a particular person and they had not expressed that they had this problem. And then when I contacted them, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm having this problem, and started to work with me. And they're like, no, I want to work with you because yeah, you fulfill this. And I just randomly, my intuition is like, this is what I think is going on. I think I basically saw an opportunity, and rather than be like, nah, I mean, I'm just gonna be bothering these people, I literally listened to what my intuition said and I acted. I found out more information. Okay, so it's not about doing anything dangerous. It's like, let me take that step and see. And it was confirmed. My intuition was confirmed and it worked out. So again, I'm talking about fear. If you're just joining, I see the numbers going up. So Know Before You Go is here. Kara is here. Angel is here. Hey, Angel. Oh, absolutely. But it's the same thing, Angel, even with relationships, I feel like. Can you be more specific? Is it about losing the relationship, Angel? Or, yeah, what is it specifically? Great question. On occasion, I find myself pushing it away. Yeah, I think that's really common. I don't think, I know that's really common. You guys who really follow me, you know, when I was in Italy last year, the weirdest thing, like people sat next to me who basically could have gotten me a job. Nobody else in the cafe. It was an outdoor cafe. I told the story. And when it started to happen, I knew it. I was like, oh, this is why I came here. I went to an outdoor cafe and people sat down next to me who were English teachers. And I was like, I need to teach in Italy. I need to teach TEFL. Like, I was like, that's what I know I needed to do. And two teachers, actually then three, sat next to me, and I still have the list of schools she gave me to contact. So I'm talking here specifically to Know Before You Go. Know Before You Go, I haven't really pursued that. I mean, Spirit literally handed it to me on a platter. Like I said, I just went to this cafe. I'm sitting there. There were some sketchy dudes way over there. I'm like, all right, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm traveling, but no, I don't need to talk to you. And these women came and sat down and started to talk in English, which is unusual. We're in Italy. They start to talk in English. So, of course, I'm listening. And they're talking about teaching and teaching English, which is what I wanted to do to stay in Italy and why I was literally there on the trip. And the woman gave me the name of 4 schools. I have not acted on it. I'm being very honest. I haven't acted on it because I have some fear about that, but because you, again, those who really follow my channel know I was a professor and I left teaching because I was being bullied and I was like, I don't know that I want to be in the classroom. But again, this is what I'm talking about is once you give, and some people would say it's your subconscious working with your higher consciousness. Absolutely. I mean, you could be an atheist, and I'm not an atheist, but this could work. I was like, this is what I want, Spirit. I was focused on it. And then like it played out in front of me. I didn't know these women. I didn't like, like it was done for me. It was orchestrated for me. Okay. And so to your question, to your comment, Know Before You Go. Yeah. Sometimes we can push our blessings away. Absolutely. I am still like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to really go back in the classroom. Don't get discouraged though if that happens because you can reconfigure what you desire. I don't believe that Spirit gets that it's like, oh, well, I gave you that opportunity, you didn't take it. I have a friend who really believes that. And I always mention him because I don't think that's how it works. It's almost like, think of it as like they're angels and guides with you, and you're here for a purpose. And so if you are for some reason not able to do something, they don't get angry. It's more like, okay, well, what do you want? Right? Many teachers talk about it's like a menu. You go to a restaurant, you have to say to the kitchen what you want. Do you want spaghetti marinara? Do you want pasta with pesto? Do you want a steak? You have to put the order in. Okay, or the kitchen doesn't know what to bring you. Okay, let me know if you like that analogy because it really feels like that sometimes. So, Know Before You Go, I totally understand what you're saying. Sometimes we can push away what is presented to us from the kitchen. We'll be like, nah, you know what? Did you start making that? You started making the pasta with pesto. I want to change it. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I want that. I think I want chicken with rice. Oh, okay. Then you put in a new order. That's what I have seen. So let me look at your questions. This is great. Fear around trusting others. Right. Yeah, that's a deep question. That's going to take healing, Angel. Yeah, if you've been betrayed. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that is different than what I'm speaking about, but it's still fear, right? You're afraid. So again, what I said, how could you apply this to relationships? Isolate the fear. It's about trusting others. But with relationships, Angel, what I would say is you really do have to like analyze this person who betrayed me. What signs were there? What did they do? How did I respond? I would analyze all of that so that I'm clear the next time to try to avoid that. So, Angel, I feel like that is a slightly different. I think it takes more self awareness and like, did I contribute in any way? Were there warning signs about the person from the start that I ignored? For whatever reason, I really wanted to be in a relationship, or they were like love bombing me and they were like so nice that I let my guard down too soon. So I think you have to do that work, Angel. And it's a great question. But I'm talking about fear in general and taking actions towards something you want. But hopefully it'll still be some help to you. Hopefully that was helpful. That's a great question. I would really check what signs did I see and ignore, because I think they're always signs, Angel. Again, I'm really into intuition, guys. That's why I'm always talking about meditation. Especially women, our intuition is there, but we often ignore it. And that's why I was giving my example with this. I had a clear intention of what I wanted, and I'm being vague because it's public out on YouTube, but I knew what I wanted regarding to the travel. Literally reached out to this person, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I want to work with you because that's exactly what I need." So, Angel, I think you have to start trusting your intuition, but also analyze what went wrong in the past from that person and from yourself and be honest about it. And then also forgive yourself. So, okay, I'm going to keep going. And then, so once you see the fear, isolate it because the fear is not helpful. Do the best you can to mitigate the fear, though. With the car example, if you're hearing sounds from your car, get your best friend to check the car or ask a friend if they know a mechanic who's not too expensive. Like, do what you can to fix the problem, but you still have to act. And that's where I think a lot of you and myself, which is why I'm talking about it, we have to act despite the fear. And I'm going to share something really deep, not to be negative, not to depress any of you, but a woman right on YouTube, I was in a live with some other, like a travel channel, primarily, I think it was Black women travel. And this woman, she either, or it was in a community I'm in, I don't remember, but she said to me, and I could tell she was older than me. And she said very lovingly, it was just text, but she said, like, we're all going to take our last breath sometime. Okay? We're all going to take our last breath sometime. But in the meantime, why not do what you want to do? Isn't that deep? I could feel it. I could feel her comment. Like I said, it was just text, but I could feel it. And I was like, I literally took a breath. I was like, she's right. So again, I'm being very transparent with you guys. I definitely still have some fears, again, related to travel because of everything that's going on now, right? And actually, I was just watching, it was either Rashida Dow or Stephanie. This is just any normal person would know this. We are not treating our air traffic controllers, our ATCs, well. It is literally one of the most stressful jobs on the planet, I would imagine. Like a regular job that's stressful. Again, give me some hearts or some stars if you're with me on this. We're not treating them well. They're not being paid. Your job is extremely stressful and I'm not going to pay you, and you control the lives of hundreds of people in the air at a time. I even somebody made this analogy to me. We were talking about it. They said, if you're a surgeon, you might kill one person by accident, right? You make a mistake and they bleed out and they die. It's one person. Of course it's a tragedy, but it's one person. An air traffic controller, a mistake. So I'm just putting it out to you. This is, what I was thinking about. And like I said, Stephanie Perry was sharing very similar, and I think Rashida Dow as well, if you know them. So, but I'm traveling, I'm going because I know that is my intention, and what I want is to be, in a different environment is all I'm going to put it. You guys know, just give me a yes. Let me know what you think about what I'm sharing. So I definitely had to deal with that fear. And to that woman's comment, it's like, yeah, we're all going to pass away from something. And this was the other way I dealt with the fear, because it was starting to get overwhelming. I was like, you know what? I really went in, and I can't even do it now because I felt it so deeply. I was like, we're eternal being, right? And so even in death, I believe we have multiple lives for a variety of reasons. I do believe in reincarnation, right? So whether you believe, okay, now I'm in heaven, I know where I'm going, right? It's this eternal life, right? Or eternal beingness. So I said to myself, you know what? Yeah, at a certain point in this life, we take a breath, we take our last breath, but I'd rather, you know, live until that moment. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. It got kind of deep, but that is really how I dealt with the fear of like, oh, this whole thing is going to fall apart. All my travel plans, I was afraid basically all the travel plans were going to fall apart. Couldn't get the voucher money, hundreds of dollars to buy a new ticket. And then the announcement, we're cutting flights. It's like, oh, great. And I can't even buy the ticket. And technical difficulties, which my landlord, who is the sweetest man, he's like, Viv, everybody's panicking. Everybody's crashing the servers. Because everybody was having, you couldn't get through. It was crazy. I even thought about just buy the ticket expensive and see if I can get the credit again after. Anyway, so I dealt with that fear. I got really calm. I was like, and this is what you got to do. And Angel, this may even help with the relationship. Actually, this is really deep. This is really deep. You have to say to yourself, and a white woman said this to me once, which I still remember it, because she was talking about her husband, who's a well-to-do guy, kind of plain, but she goes, he loves me more than I love him. And if for any reason we divorced or whatever, the marriage ended, I know I'd be fine. And she didn't really, because she would have told, she wasn't just like, oh, I'll get alimony. She's like, I'll be fine. But I remember being struck by that, like, do you love him very much? Because that's how I thought. I'm like, do you really love this man? Because you're like, yeah, I'll be fine. And so my point is, with my whole travel plans and really my whole life taking this big step, I even said to myself, you know what? If this particular thing falls through because of all the problems I was having, I'll be okay. Because I did, and this is what I'm saying to you, look at how you can mitigate it. I then realized that there were other plans I could easily make, and that also eased my fear. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to swim in this fear. Everybody's like bathing in the fear. I'm like, you're a spiritual person. You have to have faith, first of all. And I do want to do a biblical quote here on the mustard seed, because that came to me, right? If you can have that amount of faith of even a mustard seed, which is so tiny, and if you have that, you can say to this mountain, and if you believe, and that's key, if you believe, you can literally say, go from here to over there, and it will happen. And then this last piece, that I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to offend some people, but that's extremely new age. That's extremely new thought, right? Obviously, it goes way back. But even before that, right? Even before it may have been written in the Bible, was there awareness of this from our ancestors and in various spiritual traditions? Because I am a mystic, I have studied other spiritual traditions, and that concept of ask, believe, it can happen. Get rid of the doubt and stay stay basically in faith. Stay in faith. And faith doesn't need proof necessarily, because as a teacher, Bob Proctor, who I quite like, he passed away recently, but it's like, if faith isn't when you have proof. If you have proof of something, you don't need faith. Faith is when there is no outward, it's uncertain, and yet you're able to hold that. And so basically that's what I did with this fear. And like I said, I'm going I'm going to take you guys on the journey. I'm packing, like I'm sitting next to the shelf. Luckily, a lot of the furniture in my home, and let me know if you have questions, comments, please put them in the chat. Luckily, I truly am a minimalist, but guys, I have so many books. I have got boxes and because now I'm trying to pack the books up, and it's very hard for me to part with my books. So if any of you also have tips about whittling down and how do you let go of books specifically, any of you who've moved, even if you're not here live with me, let me know. But, you know, it's very hard for me to part with my books. And a dear friend of mine also said something that was very deep. She said, when you have to downsize or you're moving and you're letting go of things, it's like you're letting go of your old self. For instance, maybe I find knitting needles, just a small example, right? I have knitting, you guys, I've been knitting a sweater for 20 years. 20 years, I have this beautiful yarn. I've mentioned this before. The needles are still in it. And I'm like, might finish the sweater. My friend's like, that's why it's hard. Just let go. You're letting go of old dreams, old hopes, right? You're letting go of them. So just let it go. And so that's hard. That's hard for me because you're confronted with, oh, I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to do that. why do I have this? Or I'm never going to be that size. That's a size 6. I'm not going to be that size. I'm going to throw that out. Or I'm going to bring that to the thrift store. And a girl who's a size 6 is going to love all of those clothes. She's just going to love on those clothes. It's going to make her very happy. Um, or your business clothes. When I was a professor, I had some very like more business like clothes. I'm holding on to them, you guys, right? Question yourself. I'm doing this for you. How are you doing that? I have them in my closet now. I have to look through it. I'm going to have to let them go because I'm not, maybe some of them I'll wear, but they might be outdated. Not that I do my own fashion, but are they my style anymore? So a lot of times when even fear can come up with trying to move into a new you, like Angel was saying, even a new relationship, it's like even old clothes remind you of like your old self. Now, I'm not saying throw out all your clothes, but this is truly clothes that I've from like 15 years ago, you know, that I've kept because they were very nice quality things. So, all of this can come up when you're dealing with fear. If you have any tips for folks dealing with fear, and before I go, those of you who stuck around, I will pull just a little angel card, those little angel cards, if you would like me to. And it's funny, Angel, I feel like Angel says, stay. What? Angel, explain, and I will pull a card for you. Let me know if you want me to pull an angel card for you. It's just a little tiny card with a word of advice. No, before you go says, yes, let me read what you said. I'm down to 25 books. No, I'm looking around right now. I don't even know how I had part of it. These are my best friends. I have some friends. They're a couple. They're like my family. They really are. They're very close to me. We're very close. One of their favorite things is to go to in my town. You guys, we have this book sale that is the bomb because my town has like three colleges. So imagine, right? Every single class really like good textbooks, but like literature. So these friends of mine love nothing more, and I think it's twice a year. We go and we get like 50 cents a book, $1 a book. Bestseller books, books on any little topic you're interested in. And so I do blame them. I'm like, I wouldn't have bought all this because I truly at heart I'm a minimalist. I make fun of them because they're maximalists, and I'm laughing because this is what I do with these friends. Say I don't have a screwdriver or I don't have something. I'm like, do you have this? They're like, Viv, come on. We have 5 of those. My spatula broke, something, anything. I need a such and such. They're like, yeah, which we have 3. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Why do you have so many? So I joke with them that's why we're friends, because I'm a minimalist, right? And they're like maximalists. They're like, in case they literally have a library of books, you guys, in case like we lose electricity. They have like survivalist books. They have a library in case we literally don't have internet. They're like, yeah, no, we have what we'll read. I'm like, oh, stop it. You're going to have bigger problems than what you're going to read if the internet is like, and there's a disaster. Anyway, that's just me telling the truth. So let me look at your comments. So Angel had said stay. I'm not sure. She'll explain. No, before you go is like 25 books. I think 25 books is great. If we're traveling though, the ticket I got that they basically forced me to get, okay, because it's refundable or partially, it seems, they're like, I can get stored luggage. And I don't want stored luggage because one tip for you, and I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but if you're traveling, if any of you are doing like, even just a sabbatical to get a little break from some of the craziness here, I really found that 2 bags that carry on. When one time I had an extra bag just with food in it and I was going from place to place, that 3rd bag it just made me almost crazy because I'm struggling up the steps with the rolly cart, the backpack, and then I have a 3rd bag. I did not like that. For me at my age, I'm like, I'd rather have less and just have 2 bags, a backpack or a shoulder bag and a rolling bag. So even though I'm getting offered where I could get this extra suitcase, I don't think I'm going to do it. So that's just a tip for any of you. But yeah, tell me if what I've shared so far has resonated, any tips. And yeah, Angel, I will definitely pull a card for you. I'm gonna, yeah. And no, absolutely, I will too. I won't pull more cards because they're literally laid out on the table and I'd have to break up my own reading and shuffle it in. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have dinner. But so I'm going to pull for Angel and shuffling. And so, like I said, guys, I'm getting more. And I actually pulled a card yesterday that's like, yeah, your gifts are continuing to unfold. Because, like I said, pulling for myself this walk away card. And now I see that if I had started sooner, I wouldn't have gotten snagged in this whole ticket thing. You know, I would have probably had the ticket sooner because I would have started sooner anyway. Um, but listen to spirit, listen to your intuition, meditate so that you can hear your intuition. Okay, so now I'm opening it. I'm just going to reach in. This is for Angel. What advice for her right now? And what angelic energy can she tap into? Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Angel, you got kindness. Whoops, holding it in the wrong place. She got kindness, and it shows an angel with a little rabbit, and a little bird is like on her hand. So kindness. And guys, is this reversed for you? I must have it mirrored. I think there's a way I could reverse it so you can read it, but I think it's too late. Let me see if I can turn it around. Hold on. Can I mirror? Let's see if I can mirror the camera. I mean, this one's easy, but let me, yeah, no, I have mirror camera. Hold on. Ah, okay, I unmirrored camera, which makes, okay. So unmirror camera. So kindness is what you got, Angel. Practice kindness. So I'm getting like just really soft, stay soft, especially to those I'm also getting who may be a little bit more vulnerable than you, but also kindness to yourself. Kindness to yourself, right? Bring out your sweetness. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, to be in your feminine. Okay. And no, before you go. Okay. Yeah, see, no, now you says you can read it, and I had already reversed. So now could you read it before, or because I may be seeing it mirrored? I don't know. Okay, so this is for no before you go. Okay, what is this? Oh, obedience. Okay, wait a minute. Obedience. And it shows an angel on like a funky bicycle, and there's a stoplight. the, oh no, the angel is on a motorcycle. Okay. Angel on a motorcycle, and there's a stoplight. And they're like, okay, so obedience, that's interesting. That card, when I pull it, and it's just one word, right? But I always think, okay, like, so there's some rules or something that I do need to obey. So, know before you go, is there something where you were trying to go around a rule or ignore maybe the way something is done? Because you're being told obedience, that quality is important. So, that's interesting. That is interesting. Oh, you could read it all the time? Okay, well, now I don't know. Mirroring maybe doesn't do anything. Angel, so is that a new thank you? Yeah, Angel, does that resonate with you, the kindness? Anybody else would like a card drawn who's watching? And again, how do you deal with your fears? Like I said, this was a big fear for me, guys, because I am literally packing up to move abroad. I'm going to take you with me. I did it this year for nearly 6 months. I am going to present in Krishan's community called Blacksit Global. If any of you watching this are in Blacksit Global, I haven't totally confirmed the date yet, but I will be presenting how I traveled with only carry-on and traveled cheaply and with only carry-on for nearly 6 months. She asked me to present in Blacksit Global about it. So if you are a part of that, look out for it. It probably will happen within a week or so. If we don't have it within a week, then we're going to push it into December. But I'm going to share some really deep tips and steps, step by step, what I did so that I was able to travel for nearly 6 months on a real budget. Okay. Um, some of it may be obvious to some of you, but I know some of it will be new or change your thinking. This is for those of you, again, who, you want a sabbatical or you want to move abroad, but you're afraid. Um, So if you're in Blacksit Global, if you're not and you want to meet with me, I'm also totally open to, um, spirits like you could teach this. And so if you want to just book a private session, I can walk you through exactly what to do to be able to travel for at least half a year on a very low budget. Okay. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at assistant at In the Flow of Magic is probably assistant. Let me just put that in. Anybody else? Would you like a reading while I'm typing here? Assistant. Did I spell assistant right? Okay, well, spell it right if you reach out to me. Assistant at In the Flow of Magic. So, guys, I am over 60 and I am going to be doing this on my own, going out again into the world. And, I got a taste of it this year, this spring, well, actually, winter into spring, into summer. I literally traversed 3 seasons, I think, which is also why Krishan wanted me to, like, how did you do that with only carry on? Um, so that's why I think she also asked me to present. Let me see your comments before I go. Let's see. Not that I can think of at the moment, something for me to consider. Okay, okay. It does. I was just speaking to a friend about how important it is to do the right thing in any situation. Yeah, Angel, you're very tuned in. I think you're a very spiritual woman. And that is interesting because kindness, I felt that like it's a softness. Don't lose. This is what happens, I really feel, to many women. And this is something I realized maybe only about 3 years ago. So you're realizing it sooner than me. I think many women close down their femininity because of being abused or taken advantage of, specifically from the male energies. Um, and so, yeah, kindness, in answer to kind of where you are, just told me like, stay soft, stay open. It's like a higher level response, right? Instead of getting like all hard and like, ugh, ready to fight, stay in that sweetness. I also got the sweetness with kindness, and just be more discerning of who you let in, Angel. Be more discerning of who you allow into your circle. Take your time. That's a big thing for me. I need to like slow down, like slow it down. You know, take time to get to know the person, because typically if something's going to go wrong, if you just give it enough time to really see if there's a big problem, it'll come up even if they're trying for it not to come up. Okay, so I'm really, yeah. All right, nobody else. Okay, perfect, because I've been 45 minutes. Like I said, I was just teaching for 75 minutes, for over an hour, and preparing that. You guys, I am thinking that I will offer a, day-long meditation retreat, like online. I've done them before, got good attendance, like a nice sized group. I'm thinking of offering that. Any of you from the future, let me know if you'd be interested in that. So basically what I would do is, I think it's like 4 hours. I basically lead a meditation retreat. You're in your space. I tell you how to prepare, and then I lead you through it. And you're not staring at the screen the whole time. You're hearing me through Zoom, but it was really nice when I led it. So if you're interested in that, and I'm thinking about it, offering one maybe before Christmas and then definitely in the new year, because it's basically, again, a meditation retreat where you spend a couple hours and I lead you in different meditations. You'll feel so peaceful. Like, I promise you, you feel so peaceful. You feel so quiet. You can hear your thoughts. You can hear your intuition. So I'll definitely thinking of doing one in January, but I may try to do one before Christmas. So if you're interested and you think you would sign up for that, let me know in the comments. Okay. I think I offered it like 2 years ago, was the last time. We do mindful eating. We do seated meditation, like mindfulness. I lead you in walking meditation, and I think and then we have a little meal together. I lead you in mindful eating, and maybe we journal. I have to like look back at what my plan was, but it's really nice. It's like we do different things, so you're not just doing one thing for 4 hours. right? And of course, there's a break in there where I think we go offline, bathroom break, whatever. But it was really nice. It was I called it a day long, but it was about 4 hours meditation retreat. So I'm thinking of doing that. So, all right, on that note, I'm going to go. Thank you so much, those of you who were here live. I know it was later than usual. It's dinner time probably for a lot of you. Like I usually eat dinner, 6, 7. So I know it's dinner time. Could not come on earlier. There were some other folks live, and I didn't want to be live at the same time as them. No Before You Go says, that sounds great. Probably can't do before Christmas. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be too soon, right? Because I'm like, oh, I have an idea. Let me do it. It's a beautiful New Year's thing. Again, it's just, because I am a meditator, I know how you feel. You'll just feel really refreshed. And so I think after the holidays makes more sense, like in the new year, um, to do it. And you're in your home, you're nice and cozy in your home. You can be in your bathrobe or like, you're being led, but you're not like out trekking out to some meditation center or yoga center. So it's really nice. I make it really nice. So yeah, I think I will do that. So, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys, have a lovely supper if you didn't have one already. Again, and also last bit was my title was has it's a distraction. Again, don't not know what's going on. We need to be aware and we need to take action. For instance, if there's a not shopping day or weekend coming up, you know, but don't let everyday craziness, like I'm going to do something crazy every single day, don't let that distract you. Stay attentive to your goals, your intention. I really believe there is an energy on the planet that and I know this is going to sound scary, but it almost harvests our emotions, right? I think The Matrix kind of hinted at that, and other movies have. When we get into real anxiety, we feel powerless and we're focused on who's the problem, what's the problem. And we lose our agency, our efficacy, our power, because instead of your power being like a laser, it's scattered. Okay, let me repeat that. Instead of your power being like a laser beam, it's scattered everywhere. And so you lose power. And I think there are people and energies that want that. They want us to be weaker and distracted. So again, hone and protect your attention and your intention. And I believe we should always have some sort of intention or something we're working towards that's pulling us forward. I think that that's very important in human life, in our life. Like, why are we here? It's not just working, working, working. Like, there's something you desire, there's something you want to create, there's something you want to learn, there's something you want to share with the world. And I think it's important to keep your eyes on that prize. Okay, keep your eyes on that. All right. Mwah. Much love. If you'd like to work with me, check out my website, intheflowofmagic.com. You can find everything there. Bye for now.